Hey everybody, today we are gonna make keto mini bread loaves. If you have a pan like this or individual, you can use those too. We're not gonna make a full loaf of bread, as sometimes those tend not to get done in the middle. And so if you split the batter into smaller loaf pans like this, it turns out perfect every time. And it's super simple to make. The base recipe is basically if you've made keto buns or keto hot dog buns, it's a very similar base recipe, but we've added a few things to make it more fun for bread. So the first thing we want to do is add some almond flour. And then we have some psyllium. By the way, if your bread ever turns purple, usually it's the brand of psyllium that you're using. So it's kind of a common thing. So then you're going to add some flax, just a little bit of coconut flour. This helps absorb some of that extra moisture. And by the way, if you ever make keto buns or hot dog buns or anything, and you find there's just too much liquid or moisture, if you just add a little bit of coconut flour in there, it will help absorb, any remaining liquid that shouldn't be there. So baking powder. And finally some salt. And then just mix all that together. Okay, so once that's all nice and combined, we want to take our eggs. And I have some egg whites as well. I have 4 egg whites as well as 2 eggs in here. And then we're going to add some apple cider vinegar. And just beat that up super fast. And then once that's ready, you can just go ahead and add the eggs and apple cider vinegar in with your dry mixture. And then just use a whisk or a spatula to get it mixed up. And it might get a little bit goopy, but that's okay. So once that's mostly mixed, the next thing you want to do is take some boiling water and pour that in. And then continue mixing that up. And this should be much easier to mix once you have the water mixed in. So once you have that mostly mixed, what I like to do is using clean hands is finish mixing it with your hands. And just kind of, you don't have to knead it like dough, but just kind of roll it over a little bit so it gets nice and combined. And then once it's combined, you take your mini loaf pan. Too many things here. And since your hands are already messy, just go ahead and grab some clumps and push them down into each little container. And you want to try to get them as equal as possible. As you all know by now, I'm not very good at making things equal. And then once you have your dough in each of the containers, just kind of press it down with your hands to make the top part flat, and then kind of dip it down around the edges, and that'll help create a little bit of a dome when these start to pop up in the oven. Okay, so once you have all those pressed down, then we're going to put it in the oven at 350 for about 50 to 55 minutes. Here we are, fresh out of the oven. You can see how fluffy and perfect these look. The easiest way to get them out is just to use a fork and just kind of pull a little bit on each side. They come out super easy. All right, so this is what they look like, and you might be wondering how you use these or what you eat them with. I toast them. I cut them into pieces, toast them, and dip them into my eggs. I make little mini sandwiches. You can either cut them this way so you have smaller pieces, or you can cut them long ways so you have larger pieces. Either way, they fit in a toaster. They toast great. They don't taste eggy, which is one question I get all the time, is do they taste eggy? And they absolutely do not. They're not like cloud bread. They're the perfect bread type consistency. And there you have it. I hope you enjoy, and let me know what you think.